Feature Friday.
The freshest.
मेरे तारना फिजा में बहेंगे जिंदा तारना होके फना.
Imagine you get the chance to do a master class with Shreya Ghoshal.
Whoa.
Well,
Oh, Berklee.
if you're in Berklee, that actually isn't that far of a reality.
Jesus.
So we're gonna see some of the most highlighted sections of the video because it's a whole master class.
Yeah.
But I do suggest that if you're into singing and you have anything to,
Yeah, by the way,
This
Bale's
inclination.
seen this. I haven't seen this. She's made like notes and stuff.
I
no
have my
idea.
notes.
And Bale thought it was such an interesting video to
Yes.
make. And I've never seen this, so let's give it a watch.
Okay, just listen to the talent that
God bless her. What's her name?
I have no
Oh,
idea.
you'll put it here.
Well, I'll search it up.
मेरे प्यार की मेरे ढोलना.
Jesus Christ.
Such a great performance overall. She's good. She's very good.
Oh, but Shreya's
it's literally
well, Shreya's
also
perfect, essentially. Like
Also-
she's like the modern era, like the perfect example of like Indian classical in the modern world at
Yes,
the moment, right?
it really
That's commercially
is.
successful.
It really is, and then obviously it's
So
like
if she
it's such
speaks,
an
you listen.
intimate space. Just thinking about that, it's so
Looks like a lecture.
nerve-wracking. It is because it's like that's what a master class in singing would be like
Yeah.
in a normal classroom environment, but they're on stage, and there's an audience.
So good. I think it is so brilliantly sung, and
Hey!
actually I feel what do I even tell her? She's already so good.
Oh, great!
And at this young age, you have such maturity of good pitching and controlled singing. That's great. So I'm quite at this moment. I really don't have a job. What do I do?
Oh, good shit. Damn, dude.
Also,
Can you imagine you sing that and then fucking one of the greatest at the moment
Yes.
actually gives you that. The ego of that. And my ego, like, that's why I'm not a singer, right? And that's why I didn't dedicate my life to singer. Because I don't think my ego was made for that. Because let's say that happens. Mate, ruler of the world.
The thing is,
Kiss
though,
my feet.
it's really cool though because
I'll put it in my Instagram bio. Shreya Ghoshal told me I took her job.
You can give us some background. What was recording this song like? Is there something that you do, any specific things that you do that can help aspiring singers to maintain, develop and maintain that agility?
Of course. I think the reason why, for example, to me, like the answer to that question for me would be, in terms of Shreya, it would be the reason why people perceive her as such an agile singer. The amounts of years that she has been exposed to singing at a high level through Indian classical, that creates a level of maturation that not many people have. It doesn't surprise me that then she would compliment someone that's fairly young and that's already at this level. Probably gives her somewhat of a mirrored image of her young self. In order to become as good as someone like Shreya, you need to be exposed to that. You need to have that exposure in order to mature that early. Really, really early on, really young, at a really high level.
Yeah, talking about the song first, I'm trying to remember what was like the day we were recording. Actually, the song pretty much got made in the studio. It was a very basic idea from where it grew and it just became a full song. And then...
Fucking hell, I'm surprised she remembers the song because she's recorded like over like 700 songs.
Yeah.
It was fully arranged and so we recorded our parts first and
I love hearing about this.
MG Shri Kumarji has sung the male parts of it. He was not there in the studio, he's from Kerala.
Kerala.
But
What the fuck? Hold on. So
That's
is
how
that
you say
Kerala?
it.
Is
That's
that
how you
how
say
we've
it,
said
Kerala.
Kerala all this other time?
Yeah.
Or is that a different time? Is that a different part?
No, I think it is from the same part.
Kerala.
Kerala.
Jesus.
Kerala.
this is a classical piece.
Yes.
Although it is a classical piece, but it is used in a film. So we have to always have to hear the backstory and what's the situation. And we had the brief that this woman, Vidya Balan, she's playing this character. Actually, it was made in multiple languages, but she was playing the Hindi character. There's a certain amount of madness in her. although I later saw how it was picturized, and it was definitely much more mad than I imagined.
Interesting. Pause. This is something that I've always had questions about, because I never know if they have, for example, a pre-screening before they record some of these songs. It seems they don't.
Yeah, I think most of
That's
the times.
mental.
I think most of the times the process is
Prior.
soundtracks first after the script is done.
Yeah, you just have a look at the script, and you have a look at the directors and the writers' perspective, and they sell you on the plot. You get an
They sell
understanding
you
of
on
it,
the scene, and then you put it into
and then it's
life.
up to you to sort of portray it. So again, that's interesting, because the sense of madness of the song, perhaps, if it was even more, what would you call it? Even more exaggerated in the movie. Could you imagine if she would have seen the screening before? It would have probably turned out to be a more intense piece. But it is really intriguing. That's answered something that I've always had. We always spoke to Jubin about this, and we do have some other guests coming. It's just, by the way, everyone asked us like, "Oh my God, when are the guests that you guys have spoken about coming?" The problem has been that because we didn't have the studio ready.
Yay!
Now it is, and we were working on a different channel, and we're working on building another one. All those stuff takes a lot of time, and my head, our heads, it's not in the right place to be doing research and be thinking and speaking. Making a podcast takes a length of time, but it is coming, and probably next year it's gonna be probably the best year for Feature Friday Plus when it comes to guests and stuff like that. It's gonna be worldwide, all over the place. But yeah, stay patient.
Her hair going all over the place. I am sure you've seen the movie Monjulika. So what that brief kind of made it much easier. The singing had to be a little raw, little out of control, a little not perfect. The मेरे तारना फिजा में बहेंगे जिंदा तारना होके फना. Like just letting go at that point is where the cinematic nuances get added, because otherwise it can be sung in any way you can sing this. So even the arrangement kind of builds to that moment where just she, in the sargam part where the jugalbandi happens between
sargam. How does she say it?
Sargam part.
Sargam. So whenever there's an
kind of builds to
it's
that
like
moment where just she, in the sargam part where the jugalbandi happens between the male singer and the female singer. There is a certain amount of breathlessness. The whole thing goes into this frenzy.
Yeah.
And that kind of is the climax of the film. So
pretty cool.
That's the brief that I have, and I remember pretty much that we really did not know how to head towards this song, because such songs do not get made in films nowadays. It's very rare to have a song like that. So
isn't that mental? That like if you look at old school Bollywood.
That would be the core.
Yeah, if you look at 90s Bollywood, classical pieces would
even
be
further back, the golden era of Bollywood, the 60s, the 70s.
I mean, arguably what you think the golden era is.
Well,
definitely the beginning parts of Bollywood.
Yes.
From the 20s all the way to the fucking 90s. Classical was a must. And I think that probably meant more from the conversations that we've had with you guys. It's just culturally, it was a much more sought after and a much more shared experience listening to classical music at home, in your communities, as part of religious experiences, but also just as part of family experiences and communal experiences. It's sort of the same as well in different countries from all over the world. It's just, it seems now, due to the huge commercialization and the take of technology, things like EDM, things like pop have really evolved in that sense, and the traditional classical roots of music have sort of been left behind. And you would presume that if anyone's going to notice these things, it would be someone like Shreya more than ever, because
she has also evolved in the change of the generational sound.
Well,
in
the
Bollywood
people she looked up to are no longer the hit makers.
That's right.
Rest in peace, Lata Mangeshkar. I guess Alka Yagnik is probably one of the still lefts, like Asha Bhosle. It's like that style of music, it's no longer the number one. And you have a look at like some of the compilations that we've seen here on YouTube of like the top 10 most watched videos each month of YouTube. When the fuck is the classical piece? Wherever the market says, that's what the demand is going to go. That's what these industries are going to make. So if you'd like more classical stuff, literally support the fuck out of classical things that come out.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
right,
And
that's right.
the industry will listen.
Yeah.
It's very rare to have a song like that. So, and Preetham, the composer of
Oh, Preetham, she calls it.
definitely is not really known for such
Yeah.
kind of songs, but he really did a great job. And we had a
Oh, and I think of Indian pop, I think of Preetham.
Shaji, who was conducting. He was basically arranging the sargams and everything how it should be. So he was giving us guidance. I know there are no places of taking a breath in most of the that is the tricky part. When you have a song, maybe we have the ability to do a punch and re-record in parts, but when we are doing it live, we have to do it as if it's one go.
See? Boss,
So
that's
that's
why we enjoy a lot more live shit than studio stuff, because
Studio has its magic, though. It really does.
yeah, sure, but studio has its huge perks, that you are in control of all extraneous variables. That's why it's called a studio. That's why it's in such a controlled
You're in
environment.
the lab.
Exactly, you can control everything.
Yes.
And in live, it impresses me more. And given the whole thing that it's a reaction, I always think it's better for the live ones, because it's not meant to go that well.
That's
because you have so many extraneous variables. So the fact that a lot of their takes, especially Shreya's takes, surpass the studio versions in my eyes, in my ears. Yeah, that's fucking great, dude.
And you have to be very well prepared for the next line. And in the preparation for the next line, don't lose the ends of the line which you're like, "Saason mein teri sargamein hain."
Finish
Let
it.
it be finished.
Ended. Yeah.
Because you have to take that whole long breath after that, and we tend to not care about the ends of the line. I think the whole expression of a word and a line is in the end of how you're finishing it.
Golden, people. This is gold. This is gold. And this applies to not just singing classical Indian music. This applies to absolutely everything in every style that you sing.
I like that phrasing, especially because, I mean, think about just in language, inflection comes at the end. So if you are to shorten a word or the end of a phrase, so much meaning gets lost.
Yes, yes,
So
I
it
agree.
would be the same in singing.
So, in the frenzy and all the madness, but those moments also have to be kept in mind. So that is one little tip I thought might be useful for you. So,
Yes,
but,
definitely.
yeah.
I'll be like this. Oh yes, definitely. Proceeds to get on his knees and bow.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, she's gonna have to sing it again.
Oh
Dang.
fuck me.
मेरी ढोल ना सुन मेरे प्यार की धुन मेरी ढोल ना सुन मेरी चाहते तो फिजा में बहेगी जिंदा रहेगी होके फना
What a banger as well.
My God, bro.
Can you listen to the original real quick?
Yeah, sure. Of
But
course
is
you
that
can.
what's she gonna say after this?
No, she just basically just congratulates her for being great.
Good shit.
That's it.
Put the song. Boss, not gonna lie, she does look fucking deranged, that girl.
And
Look at her
that's-
hair, that's you can tell. It's the number one tell. If her hair's like puffy, she's either just woken up or hasn't fucking seen the light of day in 7 weeks. Yeah, she's losing her mind.
It's such a funny thing though, because even though she's like in absolute madness and like overall her reality is so distorted, the key is actually a major key. It doesn't, if you listen to the song,
I guess maybe because it's the climax.
you don't hear the angst, you don't hear the absolute loss of reality either.
You just hear the hecticness. You just hear
The breathlessness of the vocals, and also the necessity, like the urge, like the urgency of the song. But at the same time, if you're not really paying that much attention, the key would actually be super misleading too.
yeah.
That's something. Isn't that cool? They're singing each other's opposites.
Oh my god! What in the fuck? What a good song though.
Well, yeah.
That is the
guess
fucking
that's-
biggest roller coaster of madness I've
But
ever
then
seen.
maybe that's the reason why the key is so. It's a major key because in
Well,
her
I told you 'cause
mind.
it's the, but I think it's because it's the climax of the movie. That's what Shreya said as well.
Yeah. Also, I feel like that it's like a representation of what's happening in her mind's eye. They were in a celebration before.
She's in a heightened state.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I could think of 70,000 other ways of being in a heightened state while keeping the ranged and not use that key. Like, that would be the key I would not... Like, that would be a major key I would not think of using.
Also, you can use so much. You can also get to the climax without actually having to use a major key either.
It's a smart piece, man.
It's weird.
I'd love to do a full review for you guys. Obviously, now we've seen it, so that's that. But I would like, if you'd like us to check it out, like in depth, I'll be more than happy to, given the fact that we've also just learned this sort of inside info from Shreya. But let us know if you'd like us to do more videos like this. It's so interesting to have a look at what Shreya has to say about the pieces. I've learned so much as well on how the process has happened. I hope you've learned something new as well. And shout out to that girl. She did well, man. That amount of pressure in that environment, it's rough. And to shine. That's how winners are made, yeah? That's how winners are made. Goodbye.